front of Madison Meadows. This is where Grandma Norton is staying. It's a very nice retirement home. And this is the front of it. Now, I'm going to go, this is, by the way, is in Phoenix. Today it's not quite as hot, or at least I'm getting used to it, but I'd say it's about 98 to maybe 101, somewhere in that range. So, the next shot is I'm going to be inside her room. We rented this little Toyota piece of, it's pretty tinny. We rented this at the airport, and we're going to use this while we're here in Phoenix. And we're going to go right through this gate and walk down the path, and then it goes right into Grandma's apartment. She has a little mini apartment. This is kind of a nice, there's lemon trees. There's lemon trees here and kumquats. So, we're going to go through this door and then we'll be at Grandma's. And Grandma has to use this cart to walk, and it's electric powered, has a thing for our oxygen, and she just leaves it outside her room. And this is her apartment. It's a mini apartment, but it looks out onto a nice patio type. And for about 2 or 3 hours now, we've been going through all the picture albums, and some of these pictures were so old, nobody knows who they are except Grandma Norton. So I got her to give me the names and the dates. Someday somebody will know who, if they ever care, to go through these things. And so how are you feeling today? I didn't even ask you. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling better than I did yesterday.
That's good. Well, you know what I read? If you sleep too much during the day, you can't sleep at night.
Well, I know that's true.
You were sound asleep when we came yesterday.
Oh, no, I hadn't slept today.
You're all out of sync.
No, you kept me awake today, so I just
see if I can get this thing. There.
This was so Fairmont, part of that, where they live. On the lake in Fairmont.
So Grandma has her bed and got her TV and all the little creature comforts that she needs. does. She can't see. Are you taping?
Yes.
You see the little record button? Record?
No, it says receive.
Yeah, it means record.
I know what it means.
The only problem with those tapes that
You don't keep.
no, I need to put them on. I've got them on a reel to reel,
Oh, yeah.
and I need to copy them to cassette. I must have 6 hours of you talking.
Yeah, I do that much.
I'm sure.
No way.
Yeah. He's got some coming to him, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. That time, Jason's pretty good for that.
That's a good picture.
That is good pictures with all the kids.
Yeah.
I believe that was a topic too.
Papa.
My dad.
You think I don't think it's. No, Grandma, that was taken in 1987 in Kerrville, Texas.
Oh, Kerrville.
Yeah, that's when Bud had a house there.
I didn't remember.
That's a good picture, and usually he's clowning. Bud.
I know. He's a right-handed picture.
Well, that's a good picture. That's a shame.
Isn't that a shame? Well, it's going to be fixed up now. Because that guy's going to fix it.
Yeah, it's good.
The
51. Taken October 1977 after 9 years of neglect. Looks a lot worse now.
Oh, it's 20 years now since he died. And I haven't lived there, and since he died, I couldn't go back. That's the barn and the house. Keep it out. I think Peg took those for me.
Well, there we go.
Yeah. That was when the boys came over to the wedding, so I could see little Dorothy. We could all do it, we never see. And that's tricky. What birthday was that? And keep it right on that.
Okay,
This is
just a minute. Give me that pen. You don't know what birthday it is?
You must be sitting around like ever. That is Scott, Todd, Dell, Tricky, Sam, and Jeffrey.
Okay.
That's what
1977?
Usually died the last day of September.
Oh, it'd be September.
No, yeah, no, August. He was at home in bed for a month. That's my graduating picture of the girl. Tried to poke my eyes out. I enjoyed going to the after I got here. He wrote that there, and Bill wrote there. Daddy,
Days of Hope.
Twiggy wrote that on the back.
No, Day of Days.
Yeah, 1932. He took me as old man, and then I graduated that year.
So, oh, this is 1922.
When did you get married, Grandma?
Huh?
Right after you graduated?
No, the next year, 22.
Okay.
I was 23 and he was, I was 19 and he was 23. And that's when I married. You know what that is?
Well, that's Joyce, and that must be Orlo.
It's Joyce and
Really?
Grace.
Ah, Grace, that's what I meant.
Oh,
Grace and Orlo. Well, you
That's
sure don't look like Orlo, though.
their wedding picture.
We'll be right down there.
And I can't remember what year they were married.
This is their wedding picture?
Yep. We never had a wedding picture taken. Well, Twiggy didn't like his picture taken because he was shorter than I was. It bothered his hair. And then the girl, they used to have it about it. And of course you saw that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking more stuff in there. There always was something around here.
Me and my brother taken in 1910.
That one there is Aunt Pearl, right? And the other one is,
This is Ann Pearl and you?
mm-hmm.
This is going to be hard. Ann Pearl.
My goodness, those people must not have any furniture. And a garden for. What is that?
Well, you're older there. You know how old you were? Or what year that was?
1912, I think that was. Well, yeah, I think that's it.
We'll just say that.
Is this the hideaway?
No. Too bad it isn't.
This has got to be in the 20s.
Oh, yeah. They were married before Dell was born. Yeah, sure was before Dell was born. And so they took over our place while we went to Great Falls. Because Twiggy had written down to Rochester and told us we were expecting. And they said, well, the nearest doctor, a good doctor, and hospital would be at Great Falls. And it happened that my best friend and her husband lived there. And she said, come on down and stay with us. started giving, they had to, first, I'd had a nurse constantly for 24 hours. They got me checked out. And then they had to have this nurse go over and take care of Nell. And she had to have a little glass of oxygen, a little thing. And when he wouldn't breathe, she had to squirt red on his nose, and he had to prayer. Breathe a lot. And they were keeping him alive that way. Well, then they gave him 2 x-ray tubes. And I said, you know, hard work. That's what all we did. What's that one? It don't matter. And his heart was on the wrong side, it was on the right, it was the left. But it moved over.
Oh. Now you don't have an ounce of fat on him.
Well, yeah, he does so now.
Oh, he does?
Yeah. I'm trying to keep him to do more. But when he was so skinny when he was born, and they had to keep him in the hospital after I left. I used to have to, the guilt fee was some kind of a motor, and take him to see him. And I had more than he needed, so they gave me another baby. We had fun with Bob, and this was Pat Smith.
That was your good friend? That was your good friend, Pat
Yeah.
Smith?
We had graduated school all together. Yes, Smith graduated 90 after next year. They're both dead. I've seen around too. I've come from that long lived outfit. On one side, the other side is so much.
Well, cut that off. Well, we've left grandmother's, and we have come to a trailer park where Bob and Phil have their trailer. As you know, Bob has cancer, and today he had the CAT scan, and we're going to go inside and see how they're doing. It's about 30-40 minutes later since I've left grandmother's. Hi!
Hello!
My face is clean.
Is it?
I wasn't.
The phone was busy.
Grandma gave me the telephone. Not that.
I'm doing your face here.
I was talking to Mom.
So this is, what do you call this?
What?
This trailer. What kind of a trailer?
The Jayco fifth wheel.
Jayco fifth wheel. That's a slide out. Okay? A double slide out. And this is their traveling home. They're going to be parked for a while. Want me to fix your computer again? So, she'll be back in a minute.
When you use your phone, call Chris.
Yeah.
Tell him that you'll also be playing. So how do I do this? If you don't have AT&T, this didn't work on page. Well, I wonder why. I'll see if it works here. What? My AT&T card. I couldn't get it to work on page.
So how did it go today?
Well, Doug said he'll alter his plans and help you move
Yeah, it's not bad today.
Isn't it? Is it hard for you to talk? Does that seem hot to you? Oh, yeah. But it wasn't.
It's not as hot as yesterday.
No, it isn't. I agree.
Well, we have driven about an hour north of Phoenix, and we are at Montezuma's Castle. There are cliff dwellings, Indian cliff dwellings in this place, and we're going to go into the visitor center and see what there is to see. Since it's so green here, there must be springs, a stream, or at least a pond or something with water. So we're going to go inside and just to give you an idea, it's about 9, let me see, it is 8:30 in the morning. We had a huge breakfast at this little tiny cafe. Excellent food. And now I'm going to go into the center. Loud. I can't hear you, Marie.
Are you ready?
Yes, go.
Okay, take a close look at the cliffside above you. Become aware of the layers in the rock. Each one of these strata was laid down in a different time period, during a process beginning 10 million years ago at the bottom of an enormous lake.
That it?
Okay, over eons, Earth's pressures beneath the lake gradually changed slimy, muddy layers into solid rock. A limestone archaeologists now call the Verde Formation. Over more eons, the lake drained. The Verde River and its tributaries cut channels through the dry lake bottoms and sediments. Then wind and water began sculpting the caves, and crevices we see today in softer limestone layers.
Well, I've walked a little bit further down the path. This is called Montezuma's Castle. But that's not really true. The early discoverers of this place assumed that the people were remnants of the Aztec tribe that had moved further north to escape the Spanish, and this was named after Montezuma, who was their last leader. But of course now they know that that's not true at all, and this was really made by the Hopewell Indians, which disappeared, and they don't know where they've went to, and this begs quite a bit of questions. Why did they build this thing this so far up? Because you see, I'm down on the valley floor right now, and when you look from this direction, you see there is absolutely no way to get up there except by ladder. So why did they build it there? What was the reasons to build it there? Did they like the southern exposure that they got? Did they build it to escape enemies?
They built stairs inside.
Okay, there's stairs.
Inside that mountain, there are stairs going up through all 20
There's
stories.
tunnels.
There's stairs. There's a stairway.
Yeah, but there has to be tunnels in.
Yeah, and stairs. And see the section where the clay is dark?
Yeah.
Well, the native Indians just came last October because it was crumbling so bad, and they had to restore that part back to its original state.
Oh.
And tomorrow the state is coming to decide what other parts the natives should, I don't know if it's a council or what, that they're going to restore because it's crumbling so bad.
So just natural wear and tear. Now, people first started coming here
Well, see, you can see.
in the 30s.
Look at, see down there? You can see a hole going in.
Yes,
down
I'm going to
below.
focus that. Right there's a hole. And so from that point, they had tunnels and stairways all the way up to their dwelling. So in 1951, the place was already starting to deteriorate from all the people that were coming to visit. And it's been closed ever since. But you say the local Indians can come and repair it, huh, Marie? That's what the ranger told you? Oh, you're way up.
Cities and caves built before the castle was built. First construction, a 6-month unit, 3rd floor.
All right, just a moment now. I want to show them where the caves were. First, they just lived in the caves, which are right up in there, in that level. Okay, go on.
And then they constructed a 6-room unit on the 3rd floor.
Okay.
And then a small room was added at west left end. 1 room built on next 4th level.
Does it give any dates?
No.
These are done by the archaeologists.
Then they expanded a 4th floor, and 2 rooms were built in a small cave. And then 2 rooms were built at the top of the 5th floor, and 3 rooms at the front of the 1st and 2nd floor. Then they had stacked rooms form the central tower, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd floor, and small storage rooms were built earlier.
All right, now I'm going to get a picture of this. It's not that hot. So here we have 2, and here's 3, what it looked like. And here's 4, what it looked like, and then 5, and then what it looks like then. Now, I said the Hopewell Indians, and I'm wrong. It's the Singwa Indians who were residents here, and it talks about how they were hunter-gatherers. They had to live off the land, and as we follow this nature trail, we are going to come across several of the plants that they gathered to live off of. Well, this is one of the plants that the Indians used extensively. It's called the mesquite tree. Only gets about 25 feet high, but it has flowers that draw honeybees in the spring months. But lots of insects were also attracted to it. They used it for they also had sweet-smelling bean pods were ground to make meal cakes called cannoli, and the sap provided candy, black dye, and adhesive for mending pottery. And the shredded inner bark was woven into baskets and brewed to make a nice tea. So all this from this one tree. This is a sycamore tree. It has broad leaves, very tight bark, whitish appearance, provided shade for the Indians. It did not, it slowed down the evaporation of water, but most importantly, it's a very tough tree, and the beams that are in Montezuma's castle are made from this tree, the sycamore tree, and some of the beams in there are over 700 years old. So it's very sturdy, long-lasting. Well, here was a much larger residence of the Singwa and an earlier civilization. What's the date there? About 1400 A.D., Marie? And, huh? 1200 to 1400. So, but this one caught on fire and totally destroyed, and all that remains is just what's reconstructed. And so they evidently, another family or tribe started the one that you originally seen in the Montezuma's castle. This one, as you can see, is just what's left of the ruins, and it was much larger. And of course, it also has the caves, and the rock is very porous and it's easy to work. And so this is one of the reasons, probably. Okay. So here you see some work done by the early Indians. I'll just give it a shot here. And to my left is this little stream. I think it's the cottonwood. This is a stone
A chopper stone behind you.
that the Indians used to grind their corn with. So they had another stone that fit in this, and then they just rubbed it back and forth and ground down the corn into meal. Of course, they always had bits of stone in their flour. So this plant is called the sacred datura. It belongs to the member of the potato and the nightshade family. It has blossoms that come out at night, but as soon as rays of sunlight hits them, it closes. And the Indians used it for medicinal purpose, especially in the use for miscarriages. But the plant is very poisonous. All parts of it is poisonous, and the shamans and the witch doctors knew exactly what to extract from it so it could be used. The plant that you're looking at now is called the acacia. It has very sharp thorns, but it also grew a pod, a bean-like pod. It's related to a legume, and the Indians used it to make meal and mush and cakes. And the wood was close-grained and very tough, so it was used to make sort of tools and utensils as well as for fuel. And in the spring, it has a beautiful flower, fragrant flower, that the bees make an exceptional honey from. Well, this was the lifeblood for the Indians. It's called Beaver Creek. As you see, there's not a drop of water in it at the moment, but there are obviously times when it does flood. And the Indians then built Montezuma's castle very close to the river, and they also irrigated fields and to grow their corn and their squash and their beans. So it was very important to them, and eventually the life source, the water, dried up and couldn't sustain their lifestyle, and so they believed they just moved away. But not very far away is a tribe of Indians that are directly related to the Singwa Indians that lived here in prehistoric times. So what we're looking at, right up there, straight up in there. So I suppose that this was a field at one time that they probably irrigated, and you have Castle A is right there, and then Montezuma's Castle's over there. And around 1400, they just started to disappear, and within 50 years, it was totally deserted. Yes. If we look closely, you can see that this was a ditch during this time period that was used for irrigation. And so this was all farmed, and I'm sure there wasn't any of these trees in here at that time. Well, this tree is called the Western Soapberry, and it had berry-like, berries did hang from it, and during ideal conditions it could grow to more than 20 feet. And it's called a soap tree because they used the berries for soap. But once again, it had to be extracted just a certain way because it was poisonous and would also give skin rashes. So the mystery goes on, why the Singwa Indians left this place. Was it overpopulation? Was it disease? Did the climate change? But the Hopi legends say that in their legends they have pointed out that the lifeways suggest the Singwa have joined them on their mesas from the northeast. So what that means is that in the Hopi Indian legends, they talk about a tribe that joins them that came from the northeast. So the Hopi are south of where we are at this moment. And so while the Singwa no longer live here, they are not extinct.
From storeroom, making pottery and grinding corn. Usually women ground the corn, their staple food, only in small as-needed quantities, and prepared it in various ways. Weavers used the second-floor loom to weave cotton breechcloths, bags, and blankets. Today, you can see examples of their varied weaving patterns in the visitor center. Villagers used the wooden ladders as stairways to carry up provisions from fields and water from Beaver Creek. On the ledge at the base of the central tower-like section, a man prepares to start a fire using a friction drill. Nearby, a young woman awaits the returning hunters who bring wild game as variety to the village diet. We encourage you to think beyond ancient stone walls and vacant rooms to the remains of a once vibrant village. Village of people who experience want and need, anxiety and fear, joy and sorrow, just as you and I today.
Bush is called a hackberry, and it produced sweet orange-red fruits, about pea-sized, and had a very thin skin. The birds and the bees just loved them, and the Indians loved them too, and they would pick them and pound them into pulp and then eat them with fat or mixed with parched corn. That is the hackberry.
Okay.
Well, people and weather have taken its toll on Montezuma's castle. They no longer let the people go up and look in there, but the weather continues to deteriorate it. But for 3 centuries, and maybe possibly longer, the Singwa Indians lived here. They had friends and communities. They had everything that they needed to live and live fairly comfortably.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And this will conclude this portion of Montezuma. We are in Sedona, Arizona. Up in the mountains. A little cooler here. We have some spectacular rock formations. Looks like lots of Indian crafts, resort area type. And well, it should be, I guess, because it's really quite beautiful here. Lots of these rock formations all over. Just a little ways out of Sedona, we've come to this Oak Ridge Canyon, it's called. But first, I just want to show you this huge red rock and the layers of it. Then let's move on down to Oak Ridge Canyon that I'm standing on. And then to my right is called Midley's Bridge. We just went over that. We're going to go on up here to Red Rock State Park, and we'll take some more pictures. And this is really quite a beautiful area. I don't know where my wife is. She's probably gotten lost again like she did in France. Well, she hasn't got out of the car yet. There she is. It's really quite beautiful here. So, I'll bet you that there was a prehistoric man probably lived here, used these for shelter. Well, I've got about 1 minute left, so. And then this will be finished. Ready to go, Marie? Well, that's it. I'm out of film.